In this video I will show you how to make 808s that sound like this. Okay, so we'll start off by preparing our oscillator, and the first step I'm gonna take is to set the phase to 0. Then I'm gonna choose a sine wave as a wave shape, but instead of choosing this sine wave shape, I'm gonna switch to saw wave and cut all of these upper harmonics, and you will see later why I'm doing this instead of simply choosing sine wave. Yeah, now it sounds like this. So I'm gonna pitch it down 2 octaves, and if you're watching on a shitty speakers, you probably ain't gonna be able to hear these low frequencies. So make sure that you're listening on headphones or some nice speakers. Right, so now I'm gonna move on to shaping the amplitude of our 808. So we want 0 sustain, 0 attack, 0 hold, a little bit of release, and quite a bit of decay. So I'm gonna boost decay knob a little bit, maybe a bit more. Okay, now let's add some distortion. Okay, that's fine for now. I'm probably gonna adjust some values like the distortion amount later on, but let's stick with it right now. Let's leave it as it is. Now let's move on to the pitch envelope. So usually you could make the pitch envelope shape look like this, but it's kinda noobish because it's like this 808 is more like kick. So what I've noticed a lot of hip hop producers do is they, instead of drawing this shape for pitch, they do something like this. And it sounds like this. So it gives that snappy sound to our 808 in comparison to this. This like more kickish, thumpy, and this is more snappy. Like more interesting in my opinion. Right, now that we got our pitch envelope, we will move to EQing our sound. And basically what I like to do is to get rid of all of these nasty high end and also some of these resonant mids, and maybe I'll try to accentuate these frequencies so you better understand what this EQ's purpose is. So let's listen to this 500 area. I'm gonna slightly boost it, so without it, and when I boost it, it gets that resonant weird feeling that we don't want. And maybe it will be even more noticeable when I cut it and then go back to default. So this is the like regular flat EQ curve. When I cut 500 area, it sounds like this. And when I bypass the EQ, So yes, you probably hear this little cat is getting rid of some mid resonances that we don't want. And as I said before, we also don't need these nasty highs, and to accentuate them, that's how they sound basically. That's when we cut them, that's how it sounds. And when I boost them. So basically, I could apply this kind of low pass to get rid of the high end and cut the 500 area, but what I actually prefer is to just get rid of both of these at the same time with simple low pass filters. So when I set the low pass like around I don't know 4 or 300 hertz, it basically gets rid of these resonant mids and nasty high end. But this filter curve is probably too steep. Let's listen how it sounds right now. So we could make that slope a bit more gentle. Maybe a bit more, maybe cut it a bit lower. Okay, so without EQ and with EQ. Right, so that's the first filter that we're gonna apply in this EQ. The second one is to boost 140 Hz, and that's because it will make our 808 more audible on small speakers, because that 140 Hz frequency is basically like the lowest frequency that will be produced by the smaller speakers. So we're gonna boost this frequency a bit. Maybe like this. So without EQ and with EQ. And for now you may think that it actually sounds better without the EQ. But with the further processing, we will make it sound better. I mean, this EQ will make a big difference. Okay, so we got our EQ. Now let's move to the wave shape. Let's move back to our wave shape, and that's because I've decided to go with a saw wave instead of sine wave, simply because when you choose the harmonically rich waveform such as saw wave, we can easily add upper harmonics, and when you decide to go with a sine wave, this editor basically does nothing. So yeah, that's why we will go with a saw wave and modify our wave shape a bit. So just to give our 808 like more grit, more dirtiness. So that's how it sounds for now. And now let's play with these harmonic levels. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with this. Okay, that's fine for now. Now that our wave shape is modified, let's go to adding a bit more of character to our 808, and we will do it by giving a slight boost to the 808 transient and then clipping that transient. So I'm gonna boost it using the mod envelope with the output level of the equalizer. And then after boosting that transient, I'm gonna use clipper to clip that transient. And this effect will be like really subtle, but it gives nice spice to our 808. So I'm gonna accentuate this effect so you can better understand what I'm going for. Like that's pretty intense, pretty drastic, and I'm not going for that strong effect. I want something more subtle, so I'm gonna attenuate this threshold. Right, it's really subtle now, but I hope you can hear the difference. Now it's without clipper, and now with clipper. And I'm gonna cut some of the high end that is produced by this clipper. Right, so that's fine for me. And now I will use a limiter to beef up our 808 a little bit to make it like less decay-ish and more sustain. So I'm gonna probably go with 0 release and go down with a threshold. Let's boost the volume a little bit. Okay, maybe that's too much. Okay, I think that will do. And that's pretty much ready 808. However, what I would suggest you to do is to fine-tune the variety of values, I mean parameters, such as this pitch envelope and maybe the wave shape. So I'm gonna mess around with this pitch envelope to see if it can sound a bit better. Now let's try to modify the wave shape a bit. Actually, the wave shape was okay. Right, so after this little fine-tuning, the pretty much last step is to find the notes that will sound the best, because as you play this 808 chromatically, it will give you different sound, not only because there's a different pitch, but it will also give you a different EQ output and maybe a bit more distortion. So I will show you how it sounds across a 1 octave. Maybe even higher. Right, so I wouldn't play it like inside Avenger as a preset. Instead, what I would do is to find the note, a single note that gives you a really thick, nice 808, and then save it as a sample and then just use it as a sample. So now I'm gonna look for some nice beefy notes. I think I'm gonna go with this one. It is D sharp. Now I'm gonna record that 808, that single note. Why it's not working? Okay, and now I'm gonna trim that initial silence. Why it's not sticking to 0? Okay. And now you may notice that it has this long, annoying tail. And we actually don't need it to be that long. So I'm gonna cut that tail. Just about here. And fade that short tail. And now it will sound like this. Maybe I've cut too much. So let's go for something like this. Alright guys, that would be it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I hope see you soon. Bye.